keeping an eye on New Jersey's special primary election tonight. I want to bring in Matthew Hale. He's a PhD, associate professor at Seton University, joining us live now. Thank you for being with us, Professor. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this. 11 candidates, right?
Yes, there's 11 candidates. It's a big race and wide open. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So when we kind of look at who's running, what have been the predictions, the forecasts running up to this? And this is sort of a surprise race, so to speak. I know that that's not the proper term, but can you kind of break down why this is important, why this is not ordinary for those watching and listening tonight?
Absolutely. So the number of candidates is the first thing. 11 candidates would never happen. But last year, New Jersey got rid of the county line, which was for selected endorsed candidates. And as a result, in the past, you used to have just one or two people who would take a shot, but now everybody's taking it a shot. Anybody who's ever been to the district seems like they're running.
So this is going to determine the next representative for New Jersey's 11th Congressional District, correct?
Correct. That's Mikey Sherrill's district, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty Democratic district. And I would say it's going to stay a Democratic district. So this is really the race.
And this seat became available because, of course, we know Cheryl went into the governor's seat. So kind of a promotion by the voters, so to speak, right?
She did. She moved to the big chair, and now someone's trying to fill the last one.
You know, it's interesting when you look at the political landscape because it's certainly, as you know, I mean, your PhD, a serious topic. But when we kind of talk about it to people that maybe don't have all the history or all the implications of what any type of election can be, we kind of have to dilute it, I guess, to the characters, to the what's at stake. What would you say the single most important thing about tonight as we keep our eye on who will be projected and announced to win? What do you think the single most important thing about tonight is if you had to put it down to one element?
So in an election like this, it's on a Thursday in the middle of a snowstorm or in the middle of snow, the turnout's going to be really low. So the single most important thing is who has the experience in the district, who has the connections in the district, and who has been there the longest. I think that could prove pretty important. If I'm right about that, I think that Brendan Gill probably has a decent shot. He's been there longer than anybody else, but you never know. Anything can happen because it's going to take so few voters to actually elect the next congressman from the 11th district.
You know, you talked about the fact that there's a lot of candidates in this race. What to you does that say about the nature, the climate of politics in the state of New Jersey?
Well, this is still an important seat. Democrats need to keep every seat they have to keep. So it's still an important seat for Democrats. And so that's why so many people are wanting to be in it. They also realize that if you get in it this time, you might be there a while. If you want to stay in Congress, it could be a while. So I think it's a lot of people who have been run before in other places are saying, I'll take my shot this time and we'll see what happens.
You know, I was saying to our meteorologist here at Fox 5 when we had the big weather event last week that, it's like they're working, but then they're going home and they're watching because they're so tapped in. Is this a night that you're tapped in? Same analogy to you in politics?
Yeah, I'm tapped in all the time, but I'm kind of weird that way. So,
well, it's your specialty.
Most people actually may not even know there's an election. My students are in that district, and I had to remind them again and again that they could vote in this election if they're registered in the district. It's tough to break through in an off-year election, a special election. It's only been going on for about 100 days. And of course, the weather. People are, oh, well, somebody will win, and then they might stay home. So it's going to be an interesting race.
So do you plan on doing a post-election breakdown when you lecture next?
Absolutely. The great thing about being in politics is what happens on Tuesday or Thursday, you get to talk about on Monday or Wednesday. So it's exciting times.
Thank you, Professor Hale, for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.